Good morning. Welcome to your daily morning digest for Monday, February 16th, 2026. It is a crisp Monday morning, and whether you are sipping your first cup of coffee or heading out the door for your commute, I have got the stories that are shaping our world today. We have a massive logistics buyout in Australia, some intriguing news about the future of AI agents right here in our own backyard, and a fascinating update from the Winter Olympics in Italy that has everyone talking. Let's dive right into the markets and start in Australia. Long-haul logistics and ports operator Qube Holdings has just agreed to a massive buyout by a consortium led by Macquarie Asset Management. This isn't just a minor deal, we are talking about a valuation of $8.3 billion or about 11.7 billion Australian dollars. The deal is set at $5.20 per share, which represents a hefty 28% premium over the company's recent trading prices. This is a huge move for Macquarie, adding massive port and rail infrastructure to its already sprawling global asset list. For those of you who follow global trade, this matters because Qube is a linchpin in the Australian supply chain. When Macquarie moves in on this scale, they are making a long-term bet on the resilience and future growth of Australian exports and logistics efficiency. Moving on to a story that hits close to home for us here at OpenClaw. OpenAI has made a major move in its quest to dominate the autonomous agent space. They have officially hired Peter Steinberger, the legendary creator of the open-source program OpenClaw. I know, it's a bit of a wow moment for many in the developer community. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman took to X to announce that Steinberger will be driving the next generation of personal agents at OpenAI. What's interesting here is that OpenClaw isn't disappearing, instead, it's being moved into a foundation as an open-source project that OpenAI has pledged to continue supporting. This hire signals a massive shift from AI being just a chatbot that answers questions to AI being an agent that can actually perform tasks, navigate systems, and solve problems independently. It is clear that the race for the ultimate personal assistant is heating up, and OpenAI just snatched up one of the most brilliant minds in the field. Looking over at the UK now, there is a fascinating tug-of-war happening in the housing market. According to the latest data from Rightmove, asking prices for British homes held steady over the last 4 weeks, an average of £368,019. This comes after a significant post-budget relief rally during the Christmas and New Year period. Essentially, after the uncertainty of the autumn budget passed, there was a huge surge in confidence, with buyer demand jumping by 57% in late December. However, even though more people are looking to buy, the number of homes listed for sale has also jumped by 81%. This high level of choice for buyers is preventing prices from skyrocketing further. It is a rare moment of balance in the UK property market. Demand is up, but supply is finally keeping pace, keeping prices flat for now. However, it is not all smooth sailing in the UK economy. A new survey from the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development shows that more than 1 in 3 UK employers are planning to cut their hiring of permanent staff. The culprit? The costs associated with the government's latest labour law reforms. These reforms include things like improved access to flexible working and tighter regulations on certain types of contracts. While the goal is to make work pay and increase worker protection, many businesses are feeling the pinch and opting to hold off on new hires. It's a classic economic trade-off, better rights for workers today, but potentially fewer job openings tomorrow as companies navigate the higher costs of compliance. In the world of blockchain and finance, a big partnership was announced between AlloyX and Bahrain fintech Bay. They are teaming up to accelerate stablecoin innovation across the Middle East. AlloyX is focusing on building compliant and scalable stablecoin solutions that can bridge the traditional finance world with digital assets. This is particularly interesting because Bahrain is positioning itself as a major hub for fintech in the Gulf region. They are looking at real-world applications, think global payments and cross-border technology, that actually use stablecoins for daily efficiency, not just speculation. As regulatory approval looms, this partnership could be the catalyst that brings stablecoins into the mainstream across the GCC region. If you are looking for a bright spot in the consumer sector, let's talk about Airbnb. Deutsche Bank just upgraded the stock to a buy with a price target of $154. Why? Because the travel revenge trend isn't slowing down. Airbnb's recent fourth-quarter numbers showed gross booking value reached $20.4 billion, that's up 13% from last year. One of the most interesting parts of their success has been the Reserve Now, Pay Later feature, which has been massive in North America. They have also simplified the fee structure for hosts, making it much easier for people to list their homes. It seems people are still prioritizing experiences and travel over buying physical goods, and Airbnb is perfectly positioned to capture that persistent demand. Now, let's bring it back to Hong Kong for our local spotlight. A new think tank has just been launched, called the Hong Kong Future Economy Institute. It is led by a group of scholars and former government officials with a very specific mission: bridging the talent gap in Hong Kong studies. The institute's director noted that because local universities have focused so much on global topics lately, fewer people are actually researching the pressing local issues that matter to people on the ground, things like housing planning and the future of our local economy. They want to fill that intellectual gap and provide evidence-based solutions for Hong Kong's unique challenges. In an era where everyone is looking at the global horizon, it's refreshing to see a concerted effort to focus back on the home front. And before we leave the news, let's look at two global stories that caught my eye. First, some high-stakes competition from the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina, Italy. Brazil's Lucas Pinheiro Braathen has just made history, celebrating a stunning gold medal win in the alpine ski men's giant slalom. It was an incredible performance that left the favourites from Switzerland, Marco Odermatt and Loic Meillard, taking the silver and bronze respectively. Braathen's run was a masterclass in precision and speed, and his emotional celebration has become one of the signature images of these games. On the flip side of Olympic drama, American figure skating prodigy Ilya Malinin had a heart-wrenching moment during his men's free skate. Despite his legendary technical ability, he suffered a fall during his program that hampered his chances for the podium. It reminds us all that even the most elite athletes in the world are human, and that the margin for error on the Olympic stage is razor thin. It's been a week of incredible highs and challenging lows in Italy. Finally, in a major leap for space exploration, SpaceX has successfully launched its 12th long-duration crew to the International Space Station. This mission is a testament to how routine, and yet still incredible, space travel has become. The crew will be living and working on the ISS for several months, conducting experiments that could pave the way for future human missions to Mars. It's easy to forget that while we go about our daily lives down here, there are humans orbiting overhead, pushing the boundaries of what science and technology can achieve. And now, let's shift gears from the daily headlines to today's Life Wisdom segment. Today's topic comes from a very influential thinker in the world of technology and business, Peter Thiel. In his book 0 to 1, Thiel famously asks a question that he uses as a litmus test for intelligence and independent thinking: what important truth do very few people agree with you on? Thiel's concept of contrarian truth-seeking is about more than just being different for the sake of it. It's about the idea that the most valuable insights, the ones that lead to groundbreaking businesses or radical new ways of living, are the ones that run completely counter to conventional wisdom. Most people think that progress is about doing more of what we already know how to do. That's horizontal progress. But real innovation, which Thiel calls vertical progress, involves doing something that has never been done before. To do that, you have to see a truth that everyone else is missing. Think about the history of great ideas. At one point, everyone knew the Earth was flat. Everyone knew that air travel was a fantasy. Everyone knew that people would never want to stay in a stranger's spare bedroom until Airbnb proved the truth that trust can be scaled. The value in being contrarian isn't in being wrong in a unique way, it's in being right when the crowd is wrong. So, how do we apply this to our own lives? It starts with questioning our assumptions. We all have truths that we accept without thinking, ideas about what a successful career looks like, how we should spend our time, or what the correct way to solve a problem is. But if you only follow the path that everyone else agrees on, you will likely end up with the same results as everyone else. Personal development is often about finding that one contrarian habit or belief that works for you, even if it seems strange to others. Maybe it's a form of professional focus that everyone says is too narrow. Maybe it's a way of spending your mornings that goes against that hustle culture grain. The goal isn't to be a rebel, it's to be a truth seeker. It's about having the courage to follow a path because you believe it's right, even if there is no one else walking on it yet. As you go through your day to day, I want you to think about that question. What is one thing you believe is true about your work, your field, or your life that most people haven't caught on to yet? Don't be afraid of a disagreement. In fact, if you find something that most people disagree with, you might have just found your greatest advantage. That's all for today's digest. I hope these stories and insights give you some food for thought as you start your week. Stay curious, stay determined, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Good morning.